Hello there and welcome to Fuel Junky, every car lover's favorite place to come down and enjoy the best things in life. Nissan GTR, do I need to say more? How can you possibly better start your day than with a Nissan GTR, but not the new one, the old one, Nissan GTR R34. Let's not waste any time here guys and get right into it. First, let's talk some history. I know everyone says history is boring, but I do believe my fellow fuel junkies out there want to learn every little detail of their dream car. Of our dream car. Certainly, my dream car. That said, if you don't already know everything. If so, tell me afterwards if I've missed anything. The first Skyline was actually developed and marketed by Prince Motors in 1957 as a 4-door luxury car, not a sports car as it is today. In 1966, Prince and Nissan Datsun merged. Later, the model was relaunched as a Datsun. The first GTR model was born in 1969, the same year as Neil Armstrong said his famous words. And under the hood was a 2-liter engine with 160 horsepower. Not bad for the 60s. From 1970 on, the Nissan GTR soon made a name for itself in the world of racing. It won the Japanese Touring Car Championship for a whopping 29 times in a row, a record yet to be broken by any other car. In 1981, the R30 generation became the first to be globally branded as a Nissan. It's no wonder that after a couple more racing wins, the GTR earned its nickname Godzilla. I mean, just look at that. With its legacy in the making, it's also no wonder that car enthusiasts started to notice the young beast. Of course, they wanted to get their hands on one of these, but it was extremely difficult to purchase a Nissan Skyline outside Japan, since the model was exclusively manufactured there. The sole export markets were Hong Kong, Australia and New Zealand, and later included the UK from 1997 on. They were illegal in the US, however, a few hardcore fans have found ways to go around those safety restrictions and actually drive them on American roads. They import every car part separately, then reassemble them and register the finished car as show car. And maybe you saw it coming. How can we talk about the R34 GTR and not talk about the special edition GTR V-Spec Tuner, in my opinion the most famous special edition, of which there were only 718 made and sold back in 2002. V-Spec Tuner stands for Victory Specification 2 and NIR stands for the legendary Nürburgring racetrack in Germany. The two most iconic colors for the GTR in my opinion are Millennium Jade and Midnight Purple 3. Just look at them. Like the French say, la crème de la crème, the best of the best. And don't ask me what you have to pay to drive one of these. Last thing I saw was a V-Spec Tuner with only 360 something kilometers on the clock and a Millennium Jade on sale in Japan for a little over 400,000 euros. Of course, there's also the Nismo Z-Tune version of the GTR V-Spec Tuner. The engineers at Z-Tune bought 18 used V-Spec Tuners, all with under 29,000 kilometers, and tuned them to what we know today. Before that though, they tested it on another used car, so you could say there are 19 of them. They gave it 2.8 liters instead of the standard 2.6. This and optimized turbos got the engine up to 493 horsepower at 8000 RPM. This special edition also got better brakes, a stiffer chassis, and due to some carbon fiber it's also a little lighter than our standard V-Spec Tuner. It got a top speed of 327 km an hour and a 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 whatever fits you time of 3.8 seconds. That's amazing even by today's standards. Also, this is exactly the time it takes the RSQ8 to reach 60 miles an hour. Check out our video about this new SUV coupe monster of a car. So, after this hopefully not too long of a history lesson, we can safely switch to talking about everybody's favorite. Like our videos, all GTR engines were handmade. Unlike our videos however, they were handmade by one of 5 master craftsmen. Not to say that we outmasters ourselves. But these master craftsmen are called Takumi. Like with really expensive cars, the master craftsman puts a plate with his signature and chassis number on the engine block after assembling it. The engines, like the rest of the car, were made only in Japan at Nissan's Yokohama plant, located near Tokyo. And now let's get to the facts. The legendary RB26DE-TT 2.6 liter engine is a straight 6 with 280 horsepower, and not any kind of horsepower, no, but 280 really humble Japanese horsepower. Because in the wild these engines were measured as high as 299 horsepower and 400 Nm of torque. A lot of people could learn something here. Be more like the GTR, be humble and run the extra mile. All this was due to a gentleman's agreement in that time not to build any car which was more powerful than 280 horsepower. Strange times. 0 to 60 time was advertised somewhere around 4.8 to 5 seconds, which is still fast to this day. But if they already had more horsepower, surely that time was a placeholder. 16 liters per 100 kilometers, and this monster shoots to a top speed of 250 plus. Godzilla has a 6-speed manual gearbox and 4-wheel drive paired with 4-wheel steering called HICAS. HICAS stands for High Capacity Actively Controlled Steering. Nice stats, I must say. Now, something very sad but iconic. You surely remember Paul Walker, rest in peace legend, Paul Walker's Nissan GTR. In Too Fast Too Furious, I remember seeing a Nissan Skyline for the first time. I don't know how old I was when it came out, but it flashed me to this day. The whole thing. I mean, the movies were so great, up until maybe Fast 5. From then on, they, in my opinion, overdid it with the action. But the first movies were always about family, cars, street racing, drifting, fleeing from cops. Just good times, man. We have talked about the past, so now let's focus on the present and future. Since 2002, people were waiting for a worthy successor to Godzilla's throne. The body may not appeal to everyone at first, but I do believe Nissan did a great job at paying tribute to the all-time greatest Skyline R34, my opinion, and still delivering something new, something fresh, and by no means ugly. Just look at this back. Instead of a straight 6, this GTR features a V6 twin-turbo with nowadays 570 horsepower. At first, the new Skyline wasn't so powerful. I mean, it was powerful, but just not as much. It started its career in 2007 with nearly 100 horsepower less. Later, in 2010, it received an update to boost it up to 530, and then in 2016 it got its 570 horsepower. A little more you get with the Nismo version, namely 600. Lastly, we come to the price. Due to its rarity and the fact that they aren't built anymore, you have to be lucky to find one in good condition and one who hasn't been overbuilt or stock for that matter, if you want to call yourself a happy Skyline driver. You have to put around 30,000 on the table. Ones with really low mileage will go even higher, obviously. A GTR R34 V-Spec Tourer normally goes for around 150 to 200k, but like I said, low mileage and the price goes through the roof. The R35 is not so limited, but will set you back over 100,000 euros, 107,000 to be exact. Wasn't it great? I could talk hours about cars, and especially this one. And actually I do. So there you have it, the car of my dreams. And to see what else I dream of, you have to come back for our next video. Stay tuned guys, and as always, keep it flawed.